The topic for our discussion tonight is 5 everyday beginning intuitive development tips. So these are tips that we can do at home. We can do on an ongoing basis. It's not something that you have to sort of set time aside to work, as in homework. It's something that we can do. So let's talk about beginner psychic development tips. When I first started, I was a stay-at-home mom. I had 2 kids, working husband. Taking a shower was tricky. Never mind anything else that I tried to set my mind to. So when I first developed or began to develop my abilities to sort of, I should say, tune into them and understand them a little bit more, I had to find ways that I could figure it out and incorporate them into my everyday life. So I thought I'd share those with you, because being intuitive is not something we do, it's something we are. So it's like it's a way of life. It's part of who we are, and it's part of um, the way we live our life every day. And we have to keep this in mind. It's not something that we, sort of tune into and turn off as we see fit. So, um, being intuitive, like I said, it's not about doing it. It's about living the life of being it. So, here are some, I guess, sort of effortless ways, I think, to take time or set time aside or make time to work on your and development. So one of the things I used to do is when I'd pick my kids up from school and I'd be sort of sitting in the car waiting for them, I take that time to focus in on my, especially my clear audience, my clear hearing, instead of listening to the radio or listening to. And this is really important when it comes to our intuition. It's part of sort of tuning that hearing in, fine tuning that hearing to that subtle sound of our intuition and spirit. So we hear noise all the time as you sit wherever you are right now. I'm sure you can hear, perhaps TV in the background, or people talking in the background, or cars outside, music coming from someplace. Regardless, all of these sort of man-made noises that we're so used to, but we don't often hear I was going to say the butterflies, but that would be pretty good if you could hear butterflies. We don't often hear, the birds, or perhaps the train that's going down the street, because we're so used to hearing it. It almost becomes like this white noise that's lost in our background. So taking the time to sit quietly and finding that time can be really simple. It can be while we're waiting to pick our kids up, while we're sitting waiting for an appointment, waiting for the light to change at the stoplight, as we walk, and just paying attention to the noise that, the dog that we can hear barking off in the distance. So it's really focusing in on those sounds that are out sort of from where we are in our present world. So in your mind, you just sort of sit comfortably, take some deep breaths, and just let your spirit guide know that you'd like to do some work with your psychic ability, and start to tune in on those sounds again. So paying attention to, what do you hear? Do you hear rain, hitting the window, the engine of the car beside you, a cell phone, whatever? But it's, again, going past the immediate sound. So as I sit here talking to you, I can hear a fan going in the background. But other than that, I can't really hear anything else. The fan's kind of drawing it out. But if I was to get quiet enough and focus in, I'm sure I'd be able to hear noises outside of the fan. And that's the ticket. And the trick is to listen to those finer tuned things. Something else that I find even still useful today, outside of just with intuition, is TV commercials. What a complete waste of our life to watch them. Not that I watch much TV, because most of that's a waste of our life too, but 2 things. So one is, if you can, record your shows, PVR your shows. So a 1 hour show now becomes 45 minutes. You've just bought yourself 15 minutes of spare time. Take and make an effort to take that 15 minutes and use it to meditate, right? You watch your show, you go quietly off by yourself, you sit and meditate. You've just bought yourself that time. Use it wisely. So we can use it for meditation. You can practice clear seeing, your clairvoyance, by focusing perhaps on the show that you're watching during, and if you're watching it live, you watch, that whatever they are, 8 or 10 minutes in between commercials, and then during commercials you just mute it. Close your eyes and think about the scene that you just saw and focus in on the details. So what is it you just saw? Focus in on the main character and what they were wearing, or a particular scene, how it played out, something that when the show comes back on you can confirm. And what this does is it helps us practice in our mind's eye, in our third eye, to start picking up the details and starting to see with that brow chakra, that internal vision, which is part of our intuition. So, if you don't want a PVR or record the show and you watch it live, at least put the mute on for those commercials and use that time. Something else you can do is give your spirit guide a name and talk to them throughout the day. Here's the thing, and I've said this to you 100 times before. You know who your spirit guide is. It's somebody you can connect with. You don't need me or anyone else to tell you who your spirit guide is, just through meditation, or just pick a name. Because quite honestly, and I've said this before, they don't care what you call them. Whatever you choose is comfortable. The fact is that you're talking with them, and that's what's important. So their job is to help you achieve the best possible life that you can. They're there to offer their divine guidance. Speak to them throughout the day as you're practicing your intuition or wanting to tune in, and ask for them to work with you, to offer you signs or bring things to your attention, or just little things that you can notice as you go throughout the day. Before you go and pick up the mail, try and sit for a second, or as you walk to the mailbox, think about how many pieces of mail might be in the mailbox for you to pick up. Or perhaps try and figure out what mail is going to be in there. Use your intuition and use your guides to help you fine-tune that information. Something else, and again, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but keep your vibe high. So your energetic vibration is utmost of importance when you want to deal with your higher self, spirit guides, your intuition. So the higher your vibe, the stronger your connection is going to be. So fine-tuning that connection to your spirit team, who's going to help you with your intuition, is imperative to keep your vibration as high as possible. So one of the ways you can do it on a daily basis around your house is singing or dancing. Both of those things raise your vibration. So while you're doing vacuuming, sing. While you're preparing a meal, be dancing around the house, do whatever. Just get that vibe happening. Put on music that you want to listen to, that's going to get your body moving, get those sort of that energetic juice flowing. This is going to help raise your vibration and, of course, connect you spiritually. So if you actually go to my website, karenstrumis.com, just go to my blog, scroll down. There's a blog there called 10 Ways to Raise Your Vibration. And there are little things that you can do on a daily basis to help keep your vibe high. So another thing that you can do is crystals. We underestimate the power of crystals, and I challenge you, if you will, to try and use them. Or give them a try, I guess I should say more appropriately. And when you go to a reputable store, whoever's there is going to have some knowledge, or should have some knowledge of crystals. Do some research on the internet about which crystals are good for intuition or whatever the intention is that you're setting, and then carry that crystal. Keep it in your pocket. I always tell women, if you don't have a pocket, next best thing is stick it in your bra, and just keep that crystal with you, because there's crystals out there that are like for everything you could possibly think of. Whether it's, an emotion that you're working on, whether it's a state of mind that you're working on, whether it's your vibration, your intuition, whatever it is. And working with those crystals and keeping them with you is definitely something. So the truth is, developing your ability can take effort, but it doesn't have to take a whole lot of time, focused time, shall we say, and it doesn't have to be a big commitment. It could just be something that you commit to yourself on a daily basis, to when you think of it, just to throw out a little bit of challenge for yourself, or ask for a little bit of guidance from your spirit guide, spirit team, if you will, as you go through. So, and it can't be all done in one day and out the next, and expect, one day you're like all in and working on it, and then you ignore your intuition for another week, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna do it again. It doesn't work like that. It has to be something that you do on a regular, committed basis, much like exercising, working out, good habits for eating. All of that has to be done daily, and part of that is exercising that intuitive muscle. So these are some of the ways that I've offered you today that you can sort of work with them on a daily basis to help strengthen that muscle. So hopefully this helps you. I hope it increases your abilities as you work your journey to higher intuition. So just stay relaxed, keep it effortless, which will in turn also keep your vibration high. Don't stress yourself out, and all of this alone can make a big difference to you. So I hope that's helpful to everybody, and thank you for listening.